Hello, guys. Welcome again to another session with Canva development. And as usual, I am Khalifa and I am the founder and director of Dream Day Technology Limited. So, today, in another session, we're going to deal with what we call business develop and business cards. So, how you can develop a business card, or some call it complementary cards. So today the main class is gonna deal with Canva. The Canva development class today is gonna work on a business card. So let's get some inspiration. Let's go to template and we go to template and we search for business card. Search for business cards. And on the business card, you will see some free and also paid business cards that you can use. But for this class today, we want to see how we can look at a paid business card or a business card and see how we can develop that with a free tools or free elements. So let's go and take a look at all of these great business cards. You can definitely develop all of this with a free plan of Canva. So we're going to take a look at this. So we're going to see how we can come up with this design using all of the free tools. So for you to get to know the size of a business card, there is two ways to know the size of a business card. One, you go to create and type business cards, and you will see the difference size. One actual business card is 8.5 by 5 centimeter. That is mostly landscape, but if you want to also do portraits, you can use 50 by 85 millimeter. So that is the two options. Either you want to do landscape or you want to do portrait. So that's up to you. So, and another way that you can find the size of a business card, you can go to templates, search for business card, search for business cards, and click enter. Then the first section is a blank business card. You'll see the size. So if you don't know how to enter the size of a business card, you can easily click on this. This has been resized based on the size of a business card. So you can easily click on this, then that will give you the size. So we're going to use this. For an example, I'll click on this. So this is now a blank sheet, a blank canvas. So now we need to develop our business card from here. So the first thing we need to have like two different, both the front and the back end of the business card. But mostly for companies, they do have the front and the back. But for personal news, I would not advise you have a back because there is no need. You only need your information at one page. So, but if you're working for a company and you want to develop a business card, mostly you can also have a back and wherein you have the logo of a company and so. So let's go and click on this here to rename our business card. So this will be the front and this will be the back of the business card. So we go back to our development to start developing the front of the business card. This is the back of the business card and this is the front of the business card. So let's see how we can develop this. So the first thing, the first element we're going to find is we're going to identify the different elements put together here. These are straight lines and these are shapes. These are just different shapes. And this is a circle and this is a frame. And here is a text and icons. So these are the different elements put together to come up with this design. This is very good. And it is really necessary you understand the different elements put together for you to come up with your own element. So let's go and start the development. So we go to elements and we go to elements, we go to shapes, lines and shapes and say see more. And on the lines and shapes, we can now decide what type of line or shapes that we're going to use for this design. So, but for this, we're going to use this here. So what we can do now is to increase the size. So this is another thing that I will advise. Do not hold the edges here to reduce the size. Either here or here or here. Hold this edge here, either at this point, hold the point if you want to either enlarge, make your element bigger or maybe smaller, but do not hold this edge here. So let's go back and so we hold on either of the edges and we increase. So we increase and move this to the top. So we just duplicate this. We duplicate this and we can reduce the size and we need to rotate this to this point. So mind you, for an element, now when you're rotating this element, for you to know if the element is really either vertical or is it horizontal, it is currently 180. So if I want to turn this over here, it will be 0 degree. So currently it is 0 degree. This is how the element was placed. So if I want this to stand, it should be 90 degree. And if I want to move it point to the left, it should be 180 degree. And I want it to point to point downward, it should be also 90 degree. So you observe that whilst moving or rotating your element. So here we move this to this point. So the next thing we're gonna add, another element that we're gonna add here is the frame. We go to elements and scroll to frame and insert a circle frame. And we also continue and go to elements and go to lines and shapes. We insert a circle here. So what we can do here now, we make sure the circle is much bigger than the frame. So if we increase the size of the circle, we can now go to more and go to position and say send backward. So we say just backward, right? So now the frame is in front of the circle. Let me move the circle a little bit so that we can see. So this is another way that you can understand if your element is at the center of another element or is aligned with another element. You see a very tiny line. So now I'll move the frame. I'll now move the frame at the center of this circle. How can I understand that this frame is at the center? You see two lines. When I move it up, when I try to come with the element down, you'll see a line crossing vertically and another line crossing horizontally. So that is telling you that your element is within the center, both vertical and horizontal. So you need to understand this. Let me move this from here so that you understand. So now I'll still continue to move my element. I'll still continue to move my element, my frame at the center of the circle. So now you'll see a vertical line and also a very small horizontal line from the edge of the circle. So from both edges of the circle, that is showing that this particular frame is at the center of the circle. So this is how you understand if your frame is at the center of each of any of the elements. So now what we can do, we click now on the frame and the circle, you group them. I believe we all understand how to group. If you want to group, you click on the first element, maybe the bigger element, which is the circle, and you hold on the shift and click on the circle, on the frame. You hold shift and click on the frame and go to more and say group. If you're a phone user, it's also very simple. You click on the first element, which is a circle. You scroll to the right and click on more and click on select multiple. So when you click on select multiple, now you click on the frame and now you will see select multiple will be two in red circle, two in red circle. So now just after select multiple, you will see group. Then now you click on group. Then that will now group your element. So now you can easily move this element around without moving without moving the circle separately and also the frame separately. So now we have our frame and now we have two elements here. And now let's try and place this element here. And also align this. And also align this here. Don't worry, we'll play around with colors soon, but let's just place the element for now. So now we have this. The next thing we're gonna do, we also need, we also go back to element and add the same elements. So move this element up here and we increase the size of this element. And now we can easily duplicate this element and move this down here. So now we can easily move this here. And now we can also move this to make sure it is aligned. This and this should be aligned. So you can also see another line point crossing over from this point to this point. That is telling you that this element and this element is aligned. So I'll move this again. I'll start to move it around. Then you see, now this is telling you that the element is now aligned. So now we leave it as that. And we now insert the circle and the lines. So now we go to lines and shapes and insert a straight line. And we move this line here and we reduce the width of the line. And we duplicate this line and come with this line over here. We'll make a straight line. So now we already have our elements placed. So maybe we increase this. Don't worry, we'll get the design soon. When we start coloring the elements, that you understand more. So we send this element because it is now crossing over here. We send this element to the back. Go to position and say backward. So now, okay. So what else to do? We've added all of our elements. Now let's start to add in colors here. So maybe you continuously increase this so that, okay. So I needed a size, maybe 0.3 here and 0.3 here. So from this element, from this straight line to this element, and also from this straight line to this element, I will needed the same size, the same spacing. So when I move the element around, when I have the same spacing, you will see a number 0.3. That means the spacing from the line to the actual element I'm moving, and the spacing from this other line to the actual element I'm moving, they are all 0.3. So you see, if I move it up or move it down, then the number. So now that's 0.3 is identifying that both the lines from the elements are of the same space. So that's another thing you can take note of. So now we are okay with our placement. We are okay with our placement. what we can do now is to add in the informations here. But let's add some colors so that we can really like. I think I'm loving the design so far, but without colors, you will not see how good is this design. So let's add in the colors. I'm not so good with colors, but anyway, let's see what colors we can use here. Maybe I'll use this, and for this, I will also use this. And for the line, I will use a lighter yellow. I'll use a very light yellow. You can use whatever color you think you want to use. And for this other element, and for this other element, I don't want this element and this element to be the same. So I will use a deeper color. I want this element and this element to be the same. So I will also use a deeper color here. Sorry. Let me move the circle to the top. Sorry. And the straight line. Let me move this so that I can select this. Or maybe I'll click on this and say move forward. Because now when we have the straight line there, it is very challenging for you to select this other element. So now I can click on the straight line and move the straight line backward so that I can have access to this other element. So now I can click on this element now and have a deeper color here. And for the straight line, I'll give it the same lighter yellow. So I'll give this a lighter yellow. So now I think we already have our element in place. I'll give this the circle. I'll give the circle a white color, and I will also look for a picture that will insert inside of my circle, and I need the picture to have a background, maybe a gray background or so that it will be much more effective. So if I insert this, you will see the design will not be much effective because there is no background in this image. So I need an image with either a gray background but not some coloring background. Maybe a gray is fine. So I will insert this with a gray background. Now you will see a very effective design. So now you can see now the circle and also the frame within. So one thing that I missed here that not explained and which I think I should, I will now ungroup both the frame and also the circle. So let me ungroup this so that I'll show you one more thing before we continue inserting the text and the icons. So I'll ungroup this and move the frame from the circle and maybe move the circle here. So now what I will do for this circle now is to click on the circle and click on this the color for the circle and remove the color totally. Then now you'll see your circle disappear, but don't worry, click on borders and go to border width and increase the border width to 7 or 8. Increase the border width to 8. So now you can click now out and now move the circle now inside of this frame and make sure you move your frame inside of a circle and you reduce the size of the frame. You reduce the size of the frame so that you'll have some alignment outside of the frame. So if I reduce the size, I need some space between the frame and the border. So for you to have some space within the frame and the border, you need to arrange. And I've already explained how you can align So now I'm trying to align the frame within. So this is it. So I needed some space within here from the frame and the border. I needed some space there. So now what I can do now, I can click on now the circle and also click on the frame and also group this. So now if I group this and move this here, now you can see a very colorful design here. So, but I don't need this border of the circle to be black. I need this to be white. But mind you, don't click on this color, click on the next one, which is this. And now I'll change this color to white. Now you can see a very outstanding design from here. You can see a very outstanding design. So if you move this now, you can see. So you see, when you move your design around, you see the circle between the border and also the frame. You'll see a form of transparent background between there. So this is how you can make that happen, and it's very easy, just logical. So we've already have our we already now have our element in place. The last part is now to insert the text. So for the text, we go to text and we go to heading. We change this heading. I love my name, so I'm gonna type my name and I will now place this here. I need to reduce the size here, and maybe I need to also walk around with the I need to also walk around with the colors. Colors maybe. No, I love the black on it, and maybe I'll need to change the font. But let's first insert the subheading, which is my position. I will align this to the left, and I am the founder and CEO. Mostly, I call myself director instead of the CEO. Director, founder, and director. So I'll align this here. But don't worry, we'll work on the alignment and also the font later. So let's go back. So we'll now look for different icons from here. So for the icons, we need a phone icon and we need an email icon and also the address icon. So we now go to elements and search for icons. So we need a telephone. We need a telephone icon. So now we insert a telephone icon. And what else we need? We need an address. So now I want to explain something. I'll go back to telephone icon. I will insert this. I'll also insert this. So let me reduce the size of this and also reduce the size here and also reduce the size. So now I can move this, group this here because I really want to explain this. So now I will also look for an email icon. I will click on this and also click on this. Now I'll reduce the size of the email. I'll move this in this group and also reduce the size of this email and move this here. I want to explain why I'm doing this after inserting all of the icons. So the last one, I also look at address icon. I want to insert this and also this. So, so these are some of the mistakes we made where we usually add to a design. When we're doing a design, we need to consider the element combination. So now let's take a look at how to combine. They're all elements, but the difference is if you're using for a background element, if you want to go with a background element or a bold element, this for a background element, this and this will match together. If you're looking for a lighter element, this and the phone elements will match together. And the address will not match with this phone and will likely match with the this because it is bold. And if you're looking for a phone element here, this will not work with this group. It will work with this group. So this is how you need to consider either you want to have an element with a background or you want to have an element, a very bold element or maybe a lighter element. These are lighter elements and these are very bold elements. So please be mindful on the type of element. So you should not also use this element here, this phone element with this background. It will not match together. So we really don't need an element with a background. We don't need a very lighter element. We don't need a very lighter element. And we don't need this again with a background. We need a bolder, just a bolder element. So this will work and this will work. Oh, I have deleted the email. So I'll go back and search for email icon. So if you take a look at this email here, let's see if this will now work because this is much with a bolder line. No, this will not work. Sorry, this will not work. Let's see. Okay, this will work. This is much more bold. So also reduce the size. Okay. So now I can now move my element. So now I said when different elements have the same spacing, you will see a number. It will calculate the number. So now you see I have moved the sorry, I am moving the address. Sorry, the email element. When moving the email element, you will see if it is of the same spacing. I want the same spacing between the phone element and the address element to be of equal size. So I want the space here and the space here to be equal. So what I will do, I will click on the email and try to move it around. Now you will see the spacing. It has given me the calculation that the spacing from the email element to the phone element is zero point 0.2 and the spacing between the address element to the email element is zero point 0.2. So now that means the element is at the center. And you'll see another line crossing through them, straight line crossing through them. That is that the emails, the elements are in the straight line. So now I'll leave it as that and now go to text. Now go to text and insert the text. So I will insert a body text instead. And now I'll add the body text here. This body text will be my phone number, which is I'll add my country code. Please do add your country code. That's very okay. +23276111668. So I will now duplicate this and make this my email info at in the university.com. University.com. So I'll also duplicate this and now insert my address here. I'll just say Freetown, command Sierra Leone. So now I'll align this here and also align this. When aligning it again, you'll see a line crossing through. So now you see a straight line crossing this point from the address to moving straight up to the phone number. So I want this to be aligned here. So for me to do that, I need to move them until I see a straight line at the edge. So now this means that we have a very good alignment. So I will reduce the sizes of this to 5. I'll also of 6 is okay. So now we have our text in. Then maybe I will now work on the font. I will now work on the font for this. Maybe I'll go to font. I'll click on the element and go to text element and go to font. What font will I use here? Okay, I will use Excel semi bold. Okay, and maybe now I can reduce this. And also for the subtitle, I need a lighter font, a very light font. I'll use font system and I will now align this. I will now reduce the size. I will increase to 9 and align this here. And now maybe I will change this from small letter to caps. So I go to more and change this to a capital. So I'll reduce this to 9 now and to 8. No, 8 is too much. Now we reduce this to 9 and 7, sorry. Then I'll align this. So I'll change the color of this. I want this to be 7 and I'll change this color to white. So I think so far we already have something in place. Okay. I think so far I'm loving my design so far. And I think the front is okay now. So let's move to the back. So for the back is very easy. We go to element, and under element we can either insert this, or maybe, yeah, we can definitely insert this. And we can now increase this, and we can have this here. Let's go back and look at, yeah. So we can also add this element again, and maybe increase here and here, and move this downward. Move this downward. So yes. So now I think what I will do here, I will need this to be a deeper color, and this to be a lighter color. And now I can insert a logo. I'll insert this logo. But make sure when you're doing your design, make sure your logo work well with the colors you're using. This logo is really not working good with these colors. The logo is not okay. And so, but what I'll do, I'll manipulate the colors. So I'll click on the image and go to edit image. Then I'll go to filter, and I'll move down. I'll change this filter here. Maybe I'll go back up from filter and increase the brightness to 100. So now that would manipulate and change the color to white. So now what else to do? We'll now insert a text. We'll now insert a text here. We'll insert a text, and that is all. So now we continue now to add the text. We go to text and see add the heading. I love my company name. So I'll type my company name here. And letter manager limited. So I will reduce the size here and go to canvas. I need a bolder text here. Maybe I'll change this to an uppercase. And so what else? Then I'll make this, yes. So I think I'm okay with this. So I'll move this here. So maybe if you have a slogan, let me go to my website. If you have a slogan, you can definitely use that slogan and add it under the text. So I'll go and add a subheading. Then I'll go to my website and copy the slogan for a short description for my company, which is technology education empowerment. So now I will insert that here. So I'll change the color to white, and also reduce the size so that it will not compete with the main So I'll make sure this is at the center. I'll also make sure this is also at the center. So now we also, maybe if you have your company website, you can also insert that here. So I'll go and go to subheading. Then I will now add my company website, which is www. I'll just go here and copy this. So now I'll copy this and paste this here. I'll just add the www. So now I will take this and align this down here. And I can also make this bold. So I think let's take a look at now our design and go and view. So these are the two designs now that we have. We have the front and also the back. So I think I'm loving this design. There is a couple of things you can tweak and improve on this design. But for a started point, I think this is okay. So these are how you can come up with a design. So now let's preview this design. So this is the back of the design and here is the front of the design. So I think I'm okay with this design and so I think this design is for now is okay for you to share and give out to people. So guys, lastly, what I will also do is I'll make sure this text are aligned. I'll easily select all of them. I'll select all of them and move them so that it can align with the name. I'll make sure they align with the name. So that is much more okay now. So now I think this is everything about developing a business card for your business. So this is now ready to be printed and shared out. So and you can easily for you after everything now you can download this and go to download and now you can download as a PNG. But since it's a business card and different there are two different pages, so now you can download this as a PDF. So I'll click on PDF and say download. Then this will download as a PDF. So guys, thank you very much. Do reach out to us in a WhatsApp group if you have any questions or challenges, either using the e-learning platform or maybe going through the course. If you have any challenges, do reach out to us. We're always ready to assist. So thank you. Today, this will be the end of the business card development. And make sure you change the name of your card. So now I'll change this to Khalifa, and this will be assignment 3, assignment 5. I will now type my name and say assignment 5. And now you can now go to the platform and upload your assignments there. If you're a phone user, you also can click on the three dots at the top and you will see a pen. Click on that and type your name, delete everything that is there, type your name and also type assignment 5 so that I will easily understand that this is assignment 5. So after everything, you can now download this as a PDF. You can now download this as a PDF then you can now share that in the platform. So thank you guys. Bye for now.